This is the Working with Warriors podcast by the team at the Regional Men's Health Initiative. Welcome back to all our regular listeners and a special g'day to any first-time listeners for another of our Working with Warriors podcasts. I'm Glenn Dunkerton, and today I'm joined by fellow team member and community educator Michael Kaufman, who's joining me in discussing around today's topic of maintaining a bit of a health and wellbeing checklist. Welcome, Mike.
Thanks, Glenn. Good to be back.
Yeah, well, good wellbeing and health doesn't come from a whole lot of big changes all at once. It's the small, steady steps that we make along the way. So we're in no way saying go out and try and do all of these things at once. That's a sure way to make sure that nobody does any of them. So the idea would be to pick one and focus on it, have a chat with your mates or check in with your doctor for regular health checks. Every step you take is a step towards feeling stronger, healthier and more connected. So, Mike, you're going to kick us off for the start of this topic. What have you got first?
Thanks, Glenn. The importance conversation around the old ticker, heart health. So, knowing your numbers is really important. Knowing your blood pressure, just having a bit of a base. So get your GP to check out your blood pressure, or better still, if you see us at the Ag Show, come and have a chat with us and we'll do your blood pressure. We're not doctors, but we're all over that. Knowing your cholesterol numbers as well is super important. So just a simple blood test ordered through your GP will take care of that. Being aware of your family history, super important in this space as well. Like myself, I was super fit. Unfortunately, my dad passed away when he was pretty young of a heart attack. So I was all over my numbers. And just a bit of exercise, diet, just being aware of it can certainly look after your heart health. It's a muscle, so you've got to use it as well and exercise it, keep it ticking along.
Yeah, and related to that, there's diabetes. Type 2 diabetes can be silent for years, so it's one of the things we need to keep an eye on. So our most recent Warrior Wellbeing article specifically deals with that, symptoms of pre-diabetes, unexplained thirst, cuts that don't heal, unexplained weight loss, feeling run down, peeing a lot. It's really important to sort of watch your waistline, cut back on sugary drinks, get a simple blood test to check your risk. And Diabetes WA has some really great info that can help you out with that. And really checking in with your doctor if any of those symptoms arise. It's the sort of stuff that you really need to be speaking to your GP about and trying to get your head around it before it becomes a problem, because you can head it off at the pass, actually, or at least minimise some of the effects that you're having.
Yeah, definitely, it can be. So I guess same as with the heart health, knowing your family history. So have a chat to your family members around if anyone in your groups had diabetes before, being aware of your diet, bit of exercise, cut back on the sugary drinks, and just get that blood test done early with your GP.
Yeah, excellent. And I think you've got a bit on weight management, Mike.
Yeah, a little bit of weight management. So, you know, with a sedentary lifestyle now, we're sitting around a lot more, probably sitting in the tractor or header. We're not moving as much as we should. So we've got to get moving just to lose our weight. If we're putting more fuel in and not using it, then it's not good. So a bit of simple exercise. We're not asking you to go out and run marathons. Maybe just go for a walk, take the stairs instead of the elevator. If you're at the shops, park away the furthest you can and walk in. Might upset the bride, but that's okay. And making exercise part of your daily habits is super important. Just slotting it in. But please have a chat to your GP before you start any exercise program.
Yeah, the one of the interesting things around that whole grabbable gut campaign, which is a bit of a move towards trying to get guys not to wear all that additional weight around the tool shed. It's really important. BMI, I suppose, can be that little bit arbitrary. I know I could be perpetuating an urban myth, but I know there was a famous AFL footballer who probably had a body that I'd be pretty keen to have, but at his playing weight was deemed clinically obese. And I'm not going to name names in case it is an urban myth, but he was considered clinically obese at his playing weight. And so sometimes it can be a bit arbitrary. So that 94 centimetres around the guts is something that we should be aiming for. And it stops us sort of storing all that visceral toxic fat around our internal organs. Because as blokes, we do tend to, when we stack it on, we stack it on all around all the precious stuff. So it can be a bit nasty. If we were sticking it on around the bum, then it might be a little less problematic. But when it's stacked in close to our liver and our kidneys and those sorts of things, we can get ourselves in real trouble.
Yeah, definitely. It's not good. So maybe just a tip there, go and grab your partner's sewing tape measure and just measure your guts, or come and see us at the Ag Show and we'll measure your chassis for you.
Excellent. No worries. Now, there's a couple below the belt and one that's close to my heart because of the run-in, I suppose, that I've had in the last exactly 12 months, sort of, and that's prostate cancer. So our prostate health's really important to keep an eye on. It can be a bit unspoken. Blokes tend to steer away from it, and quite often they steer away from it because one, they're worried about it. Two, it's a part of their body that they don't tend to have much of a discussion about, and probably one they don't have much understanding about. So we've got to realise that prostate problems are common over 50, and as much as blokes are a bit better these days, quite often they'll say things like, well, I will keep an eye on it. If I show any of the symptoms, like needing to pee a lot at night, blood in my urine, those sorts of things, that's fantastic that they're being vigilant. But unfortunately, with prostate cancer, if those symptoms are showing, it can quite often be late stage prostate cancer. So we're always talking about trying to include in your yearly service visit with the doctor, include that PSA check, which gives a bit of a baseline for what your normal is. And there's lots of other things to put into the equation as well, because quite often surgery isn't the only option for something around prostate cancer. Sometimes it's about monitoring it, because sometimes it's particularly slow. But it did come back to bite me this year. I delivering talks around prostate health to men's sheds and bowling clubs. So I was talking the talk, but I thought I'd only have to walk the walk once my hair was the same colour, or I'd lost a bit more hair than the guys I was delivering the message to. And at 54, I ended up with a really aggressive prostate cancer and a full prostatectomy last year. And I've come out the other side of it well, but I was reasonably well informed, probably doing the job that I do. So that's worth keeping in mind. The other thing to keep in mind is that the process these days, I know a few guys can be a bit standoffish about the thought that it's the DRE, the digital rectal exam, is the only way that it's diagnosed. That didn't enter into the equation when I was getting my surgery and getting looked at by the doctor. It was a PSA test followed by an MRI, followed by a biopsy, none of which involved the digit, which I appreciated. So that's worth keeping in mind too. Mike, there's some bladder and bowel health we could look at.
Yes, Glenn. So we get the bowel cancer checklist kit in the mail once you hit about 50. So please do it. Please use it. I heard on the radio the other day only 42% of Australians actually use it. So it's not a bill. It's not something you have to ignore. So just don't throw it away, please. Just get it done. If you're not sure, please reach out to your GP, talk to your mates about it. Very simple test and a potential early indicator of bowel cancer. So get onto that as soon as you hit 50. My lovely wife got hers done when she was 46, which was great. So I pushed her to do it, and that was all good, thankfully.
Yeah, and the process, as distasteful as it might seem in the cold light of day, it is pretty basic. It is pretty straightforward, and they're missing a massive marketing opportunity with it, because there's no physiological reason that blokes die at a higher rate from bowel cancer, but they do. And my marketing tip for the advertising team there at the Cancer Council would be because blokes don't give a shit, because we don't mail it off, and that's the only reason that we die at a higher rate than women, because they engage with the testing process better than us. So that's something worth keeping in mind. In the same vein, and we're moving away from below the belt, is skin checks. And Australia's got one of the highest rates of skin cancer in the world. So the tip is obviously to observe changes in your skin, get them checked early. Be aware that the site for melanoma as one type of cancer that it's going to pop its head up is the site for it doesn't necessarily need to be somewhere where we got burnt. It can present elsewhere. I know of a lady whose cancer appeared beneath the nail polish and those sorts of things. So it went unobserved for many years because, it was disguised by that fact, or it's up in the scalp above the hairline, or those sorts of things. So they're the sorts of things we need to be aware of, that it's not necessary. You're not necessarily going to get it on your shoulders because that's where you once got sunburnt. It can actually appear anywhere. So those going into places and getting the sort of mole scan, using a trade name there, but getting those sorts of things done, getting them checked early. And for any particular or additional information, Cancer Council and SunSmart have some really good info on that.
Remember, Glenn, the old slip, slop, slap campaign as well. Slip on a hat and slap on the sunscreen, those type of things. Long sleeve shirts, wear a hat. These type of things are still really relevant today. So prevention is better than the cure.
Oh, definitely.
We'll talk about hearing loss now. So noise damage is common, especially in blokes who have been working in industries, even if you've been sitting on the tractor for the last 20 years or on the header. So we've all got that PPE, that personal protection equipment, so please use it. And if you're the boss, you've got to encourage your workers to use it. Those earmuffs hanging in the corner, they're not there just to gather dust and look pretty. You've got to use them. You can get your hearing test done with your eye test, so it's pretty convenient now. So any other tips there about hearing, Glenn?
Yeah, well, just the fact that it does affect all sorts of industries and even ones that you're probably not expecting. So as an ex-school teacher, we actually used to get tested. I was a phys ed teacher, and I suppose using a starting gun, blowing on a whistle, sometimes blowing on a whistle real hard when they're not listening. So those sorts of things. And I suppose, Mike, as a footy umpire, you probably could do. It could be useful for you as well, because we're sort of subject to those repeated noises up in the register that can do a bit of damage. So it's worth keeping in mind.
Yeah, definitely. Probably not only the whistle, mate, but catching a bit of ear bashing from a few of my correct decisions.
They're all correct, aren't they? All right. So alcohol and smoking is another one to have a look at. So both of those raise your risk of serious illness, and it can sneak into your daily habits. And we've got to watch out for sort of self-medicating with either of those, whether it's the smokes to calm the nerves or to suppress hunger or to de-stress with alcohol, those sorts of things. If we're starting to move beyond the social to using it as a form of medicine, then we're probably going about things the wrong way. So we've got tips around maybe putting in a couple of drink-free nights a week. It does two things. It drops the overall load for the week, but the other thing that it does is it proves to yourself that you're not dependent, and hopefully that triggers something in someone to go, well, hang on a second, I'm not bloody dependent. So, and at least they then make an effort. So if we can cut back on our alcohol and quit smoking, we can get some help with those again with Alcohol Think Again WA and the Quit Line are both really helpful resources for getting on top of those things.
Yep, and even now it is becoming more socially acceptable not to drink. I don't drink a lot myself, and I used to cop a bit from my mates early days, but now they just know Mike's not going to drink, so I'll probably end up being the driver, which is fine. And there are a lot of zero alcohol options, which are quite tasty out in the market now. And maybe you can think about, putting the money you're spending on the booze and the cigarettes into a little fund towards a family holiday, which could be a good idea.
Yeah, excellent. And some people, this is my attempt at a segue, Mike. Some people actually use alcohol as to assist them with trying to fall asleep, but that can be a double-edged sword. So sleep quality, Mike.
Yeah, sleep super important. So, when you're younger, we need a lot more sleep, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours a night, that type of stuff. But it's a time for your brain to reset, refresh, works on your long-term memory as well. So it's kind of like a washing machine just going through your brain and just sorting out the day. So sleep, super important. Try and go to sleep at the same time. Get off the blue light. That means not looking at your phone or computer screens for up to an hour before bedtime, which I know is a challenge having young children. We have that conversation, pretty robust nearly every day, but it's super important. Get up at the same time as well. Make sure you're in a comfortable environment.
Definitely. And I used to pride myself on the fact that I could smash a coffee down at 6 or 7 at night and it wouldn't affect me. The caffeine side of it didn't seem to. That wasn't keeping me up. But the diuretic effect of the coffee now keeps me up. So if I have a coffee that late in the evening, then that's going to make me get up and pee 2 or 3 times a night, which interrupts my sleeping. So a bit of planning around your sleep time is worthwhile as well. Dental care is often one that's sort of left out. So yearly dentist visits not only important for your teeth, but it's a key preventative measure to sort of reduce the risk of gum disease. And then gum disease can adversely affect your health in all sorts of other ways as well. So really just a reminder that don't dismiss the dental side of your health as an add-on. It's just as important as any other aspect as well.
Yeah, it is. And we know there are a lack of dentists in regional Western Australia, so make it part of your plan when you are going into town to get your health check, your dental check done. Super important. Remember to floss, get in there, get all the food out between your teeth. And there is a link between poor dental hygiene and heart health, so just be aware of that. Brush your teeth at least 2 times a day.
Yeah. And probably one that we deal a bit with at Regional Men's Health and forms a lot of the discussions and the talks and education sessions that we do is mental wellbeing, Mike.
Yeah, mental wellbeing super important. The message from us is just check in on your mates, ask them more than they're okay, ask them what they've been up to. If they're not coming to the events, then give them a call, find out why, what's going on, and just make sure that you're there for them and you can listen. Guys, we don't do that very well, as we say in our talks. We try and fix things, so just shut up for a few minutes and let somebody spill their guts.
Definitely. And quite often it's worth remembering that we have a ratio of 1 mouth to 2 ears because that's the ratio at which it's probably really important to operate. So if we listen a bit, it can be really helpful. So thanks very much, Mike. It's not about fixing everything. Rather, it's about staying tuned in and taking small steps, including an important one, and that's going for a regular checkup. We call it a service visit with your GP or other health professional. So, Mike, thanks for joining me here to discuss a bit of health and wellbeing in terms of a bit of a checklist. And if the people out there are chasing some more men's health and wellbeing info, where can they find us?
Thanks, Glenn. So you can jump on our website, regionalmenshealth.com.au. We're on X or Twitter if you're not sure what that is. And if you see us at the ag shows, please come and say hello, because that's the place where you can get your blood pressure done, get your guts measured, and just have a general chat about your health, and we can refer you on to local service providers. Thanks, mate.
Good on you, mate. Cheers. Thanks for listening to our Working with Warriors podcast series.